This is FYI News 13, brought to you by SSPTV and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
For your information, we'd like to welcome home U.S. Navy Master of Arms 3rd Class Petty Officer Travis Moose of Beaver Meadows. Lisa Sugart has the story of his warm greeting back to our area. Welcome to another FYI. We are back. Thanks for watching. I'm Ken Karen. I appreciate your time. Here's our Wednesday headlines from FYI and the Hazleton Standard Speaker. Hazleton officials took action today to condemn the Ecstasy Hookah Lounge at 35 East Diamond Avenue in Hazleton. Hazleton Police Chief Frank DeAndrea confirmed to FYI that the business was being boarded up this afternoon. Code enforcement and Mayor Joe Yanuzzi were also on hand. The structure was posted as condemned with occupancy prohibited. Just last month, the Hazleton Zoning Hearing Board denied an appeal by the owners of the lounge. The business had been issued a permit, but that was later rescinded by the city, which called the permit a mistake. The owners vowed to appeal. Police Chief Frank DeAndrea has called the business a drain on the police budget and manpower. He cited 30 incidents which police responded to this year at the Hookah Lounge. It's being called one of the largest operations of its kind discovered in the state of Pennsylvania. State agents in hazmat suits dismantled an operation that was being used to make the synthetic drug known as ecstasy. Yesterday's investigation comes days after a raid at 500 Ridge Avenue on July 27th. At that time, agents from the Attorney General's office went to execute a search warrant at that home of Martin J. Kelly in Hazel Township and uncovered a massive drug lab. That discovery led to yesterday's raid. Meanwhile, Kelly, a former nightclub owner, is being held on $1 million bail. A popular landmark in our area is coming down. One of the 4 silos located at the former Pecora's Dairy in Sugarloaf Township is being disassembled. Jim Pecora Jr. shared this video and these photos with FYI. He told us that the silo was built by his father, Jim Pecora Sr., and his father's brother, Mike, in 1980. The silos were built to store various types of animal feed. The silo coming down will be used to build 3 silos in the Washingtonville area. Pecora says that the other silver silo will be coming down later this year, and possibly the 2 blue ones to follow. Pecora's Dairy, known for its baby bottle top, closed its doors back in 2007, and the silos were no longer needed. A local soldier was greeted to a big homecoming as he came back home on leave. While he knew his family would be waiting anxiously, he had no idea what else was awaiting upon his arrival. Lisa Sugart sat down with the grateful sailor today.
Well, today we are very pleased to have a very special guest in our studios, a member of the United States Navy, and this is Master of Arms 3rd Class Petty Officer Travis Moose from Beaver Meadows, which is also my hometown. So it's a double pleasure to have him here in our studios for a very special reason. First of all, we want to say thank you for your service to our country. And I know that you're here to say thank you for some very special reasons, because he was treated to a very special welcome home this past Saturday, August 1st, which happens to be your 25th birthday. So first of all, congratulations for coming home and for serving our country. I know you're just on leave and heading back, but how does it feel to be home?
Well, it's simply amazing. I can't even begin to describe in words the amazement at which I came home to. The individuals that were there that created this procession for me was simply wonderful. It was just awe-striking. It left me speechless.
Now, your mom, Barb Moose, is off on the side. She won't come on camera with us, but she told us the story right before we went on the air as well. So this all started because your mom decided to hang a welcome home banner on the front of your house. So tell us then, your neighbor stepped in and decided they were going to do a special treat to welcome you home. So who was that neighbor and what did he do?
Yeah, like you just said, my mom posted this banner outside that my aunt actually got for me. And the neighbor across the street, Joe Martizio, contacted a few of his friends that he rides motorcycles with, and they decided all to get together and create this procession for me. And before you know it, one thing led to another, and we had fire trucks involved. There was police officers involved, even local civilians, local individuals from West Hazleton, Beaver Meadows were outside cheering, waving flags. It was amazing.
Now, your mom knew all this was happening, and then there was a further wrench in the whole thing because your flight was delayed.
It was, yes. Once I got to Philadelphia, there was some issues with the crew coming back from Wilkes-Barre, delayed the flight an hour, hour and a half, then they changed it back, then they delayed it 2 hours after that. So it was a continual change. It became quite a headache, but it was all worth it in the end.
Well, your delay helped them to gather even more and more people. So when did you first notice that all these people were here? Who did you see first, and what went through your head?
Once I came out of the terminal and started walking towards baggage claim, I saw my mom there, and then behind her was a procession of my family members, and then behind them was all the individuals that Joe contacted, and everybody was clapping and cheering. It was so overwhelming, you know. Seeing my mom there, she was crying. She was happy to see me, so that was amazing. And then all these other individuals that were in the airport just clapping to see me home. That was just beautiful, simply beautiful.
Now, you're doing a tough thing. You're serving, you were in Greece, you told me, and so you're serving for our country. It's been tough being away from home. So how does it make you feel to know that what you're doing is so greatly appreciated?
There's a lot of times us individuals who are in the armed forces, when we are overseas, it becomes a little overwhelming. You know, it's kind of difficult. You're away from family, you're away from home, your friends, everything that you've ever known and become conditioned to. It's just a different culture. It's something that you're not used to. So when you get the opportunity to come back and you see all these people here seeing you you realize that true patriotism, and it just takes you back, you know, to what you're doing this for in the first place, and that's for everybody back here that you serve and protect.
Well, we are just pleased. I learned of the whole escapade through West Hazelton Fire Chief Brian Karras, so I want to say thank you to him for letting us know your great story. And I also talked with Joe then about what had happened with you. You have to leave us very shortly because you're only home for a little bit.
Yeah, I have about 28 days of leave on the books, and then I head off to Portsmouth, Virginia to join an expeditionary unit. From there, I'll be deploying again back overseas. So I'll be able to see some new places in the world. That's always amazing, and get to do some more hands-on sort of work that wasn't exactly available for me in Greece.
But I guess it's always great to come home.
Absolutely. It's amazing.
They set the bar high. You're going to be expecting this now every time you come back, right?
No, absolutely not. But I do want to just say thank you to Joe again, all the individuals that rode in, the fire departments, West Hazelton, Drifton, all of those fire departments that were here, the police officers, the police officers, and especially all the individuals on the street that were waving flags and showing that true patriotism, along with my mother and my family members, of course.
Well, we say thank you for your service, and God bless you and keep you safe as you continue to serve.
Thank you so much.
And I just want to end with a quote that your mom told me. She said, "The kindness of complete strangers, there are good people." And there certainly are, and this is one of them right here.
Thank you, Lisa, and thank you, 3rd Class Petty Officer Travis Moose, for your service. Now, Travis told us that this welcome is something that should happen to every service member. He says it truly means the world to them. Well, coming up next on FYI, we're going to talk about cannoli. Enough said. Also, Lisa Sugar talks with Mary Angie Schell from United Charities about a back-to-school drive, and yes, it's Dave Day in sports.
This is FYI News 13, brought to you by SSPTV and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
It's time for our weekly Healthy Living segment. How would you like to be healthy and eat a cannoli? Next Sunday, it's one of my favorite events of the year, the annual Run for the Cannoli at Queen of Heaven Parish at Our Lady of Grace Church. Don't tell Sam Lasan Sr., but I'd love to get paid in cannoli. Let's learn more about this race from the race organizer, Dino Alberto. This race is part of the church's annual St. Mauro Festival. Dino, Run for the Cannoli, another year this year. I don't know when they added the walk, but just tell us about the event this year. Anything different or tradition as usual?
Well, tradition, actually some people have called it a cult classic because we do this thing in the middle of August, in the middle of the afternoon, 3 o'clock on a Sunday. Obviously the weather gets a little hot, but the runners love it because we make an event out of it. We just love being able to do this. This is our 12th year coming up. We're very excited to announce that Aaron Russell, who is the head cross-country coach at Lock Haven University, is coming in. He is going to be serving as our Grand Marshal. We've gotten a lot of guys from from Haven that have come out there. Jeff Squires has been the cannoli king for a lot of years. Nick Hilton, who is now a professional runner. Matt Mazer, a couple of other guys and gals have come out, and a lot of collegiate racers. But locally, the high schools make a part of it, and all the area runners as well. We love doing this event. Last year, we added a walk for the first time, and it's only a mile and a half. We call it the Walk and Talk. So it's a leisurely thing there, but they're all part of the Festival of St. Marl, the St. Marl Festival at Queen of Heaven Parish at 12th and Vine Streets. It's a 3 o'clock deal. We really look forward to this thing, and it's just grown so much from when we first started this thing. Kenny, our very first event, 24 runners. Only 22 came back. We eventually found them. They wound up in the beer hall, which is okay. We still do that now, but we have grown, and we're very proud of this to be one of the biggest 5Ks in the Hazleton area, with well over 150 to 160, 70 runners coming to the starting line, and we take over the streets of Hazleton, and it's a big community event, and we look very much forward to it. So it's a lot of fun, and you have to make it that way if you're going to do this at that time of the day.
Time now for FYI News 13 weather.
A cloudy and kind of cool day in downtown Hazleton on Wednesday, and when I say cool, I mean my clothes weren't sticking to me like kinesio tape. I like it when it's not so humid. Let's see what's up weather-wise. Here's our local forecast from the National Weather Service. Tonight will be mostly clear. We'll get down in the low 50s, kind of nice. Extended forecast on Thursday, it's sunny. We get back up into the high 70s, and then on Thursday night, 30% chance of showers, and that's mainly after 2 a.m. Partly cloudy night with a low of 55. On Friday, 30% chance of showers, a partly sunny day with a high of 78. Friday night, we're back down to 20% chance of showers. It will be mostly cloudy. Our low will be 58 degrees. Saturday, partly sunny, looks nice, high of 77. Saturday night will be partly cloudy. We'll have a low of 58 degrees. And then on Sunday, back up to the high 70s, mostly sunny day. Sunday night, 30% chance of showers. Our low will be 60 degrees.
Tonight's weather is brought to you by Valley High, the area's oldest ice cream and fast food restaurant. Stop on in for a cold treat including our ice cream and yogurt, or some hot food including our burgers, hot dogs, fries, and much more. That's Valley High, Route 93 in West Hazleton. Treat yourself today.
A special effort begins this Friday, and you can help students in our area start smart. It is a school supply collection, a collaborative effort by many organizations. And here to tell us all about it today is Mary Angie Schell. She is the Executive Director of United Charities in West Hazleton, which is a United Way agency. Mary Angie, this is a great program. You collect a lot of things for children to make sure everybody's prepared on the first day of school.
Absolutely, and we could not do it without the support of the community and the collaborative effort of the United Way agencies, United Way, businesses, churches. You know, the entire community gets behind it. And we will have the bus at the Pocket Park on Friday, the first Friday, and that's going to be the official kickoff. So we're hoping everybody comes to see the bus and, bring supplies, because the bus was made by students at the Career Center several years ago. And, we're all excited to have that as the focal point for the collection.
All right, now the Pocket Park, as you probably know by now, is the little park right next to the former Security Savings Bank in downtown Hazleton, soon to be home of the Art League. So that's where it will be taking place. What time is the kickoff on Friday?
9:30 we're starting with, the publicity, and it's going to be there the entire day because of the First Friday events. So we're hoping that people will stop by and, ask questions and be there and, hopefully make this the most successful Start Smart in the history of the collection.
What's been the response in past years, and what kind of items do you need?
We've had, a very positive response, among the agencies, among the businesses that have agreed to participate. This year, we're looking particularly for clear backpacks, as well as the 5-ring notebooks, pencils, pens, anything that would require people to start school and be able to be prepared. Because our philosophy is that if a child is prepared for school, we give them the opportunity to be successful. And that's what school's all about, to be successful.
Wow, and there's a growing need that kids need help with all these supplies.
Absolutely. So, what we're going to be doing is working with the schools, to be able to make the connection between those who need and the supplies that we collect. So it's again a very, very strong community effort to make sure that kids start smart.
Well, when you're going shopping, get some extra supplies for other children in need. Now, you can drop them off at the Pocket Park this Friday while that's going on. But after that, the bus heads out to the mall, and it's going to be there till September 2nd?
Yes, absolutely. And then there's going to be collection sites at various churches, various businesses. And if there's ever any questions, you can call me at United Charities, or, Carmine Parlatour at the shop, or, any one of the United Way agencies, because we're all working together to make this a successful event.
Very good information. So you can check it out to find out all the drop-off places, drop it off at the mall, and also Wednesday's edition of the Standard Speaker, complete listing of all the places where you can drop off the supplies. Let's make sure this is a Start Smart year for all the kids in our area.
Thank you very much. I appreciate being here.
Once again, thank you, Lisa. Here's your midday winning Pennsylvania lottery numbers. Pick 2, 62, pick 3, 025, pick 4, 0810, and pick 5, 41558. Lottery numbers on FYI brought to you by Boyer Insurance Agency, with 2 locations to serve you. One location is in Cunningham on Sugarloaf Avenue. The other one is in Nescapec on Broad Street. You can call Boyer Insurance in Cunningham at 570-788-3543 and in Nescapec at 570-752-7683. Coming up next in sports, Dave Seaman and I, we're going to talk about local softball plus some Major League Baseball.
This is FYI News 13 Sports.
Another Dave Day on FYI. Welcome back, Dave Seaman, the sports editor from the Standard Speaker. Thanks for being with us. Let's start. Recent article in the Standard Speaker about Candace Van Horn, former Lady Cougar softball player, played in college as well, and now, Dave, over in Germany playing professionally. I wish I remembered the name of the town, but I think it's the Cougars over there. Interestingly, yeah, how about that? Eric Schultz of the article for the Standard Speaker. Read it. Very candid, like she was even when you talked to her in high school. Dave, if I remember correctly, I think she played third base. And wow, the defense. I was always so impressed by her defensively. I mean, she had the offense as well, but definitely a great article there. Do you remember her playing?
Yeah, she played a few years ago. She was there for a couple different coaching changes at Hazleton area, but she was the player that stood out. Like you said, she was an outstanding third baseman and a shortstop. Fielded her position extremely well, and hitting, and that just carried over right into her college days at Coppin State.
Amazing, amazing article, like I said, going over continuing her career professionally in Germany. Well, Dave, it won't be long. That spring sports, fall sports begins very, very soon. August 17th is when practices will begin. Not too long after that, golf and everything will get started. We are trying to think of some fall headlines. What will happen this fall? We mentioned a few Marion teams. Marion volleyball always seems good. And the football team made a run late last season and made it to the district playoffs.
Yeah, they got to, unfortunately, they ran into Pius 10th last year. Pius 10th had a buzzsaw last year in that school's last year of existence, but the Colts, they played well until getting to the playoffs. They're in a tough league this year. The Anthracite League's it's going to be another knockdown, drag them out kind of league, and the Colts have to bring their A game like every other team does in that league, because they're going to be playing bigger schools, the North School schools, the Blue Mountains of the world, and it's going to be tough for the Colts. But Colts have some key pieces back, and I like their running back, their quarterback, and the quarterback Ethan Kaczynski's now a 3-year starter. KJ Snur, a talented running back, so they do have pieces to start. So Stan DeCoste always has talent, and this year will be no exception.
It'll be interesting to see. North Schuylkill, of course, defending Anthracite League champions. Tevin Murray, I believe, back for them at wide receiver. That will be interesting. Of course, the Hazleton Area Cougar football team. You mentioned a few teams looking for bounce-back seasons.
Yeah, the Cougars will be looking for a bounce-back season. Of course, you always make the most improvement. It's always said between a coach's first year in a program and in his second year. It didn't show in the record last year. With Mike Brennan was pleased with the progress the team made last year. If you looked at where the Cougars started in September compared to where they were against Berwick last year, well, against Berwick they didn't really have their better game of the season, but in between they showed a lot of improvement. So if they took that into the off season, continued to get better, and I'm sure you're going to see a lot of improvement from the Cougars.
Dave, before we sign off, let's talk Major League Baseball. Go to the National League. A lot of good teams over there. Joe Maddon and the Cubs, one of them. 6 straight wins right now. They have Anthony Rizzo, John Lester, Jake Arrieta pitching very well right now. Cubs making a run, pushing the Pirates trying to get that #1 wild card spot. Who do you think is the best in the National League? We list a ton of really good teams, the Dodgers, the Nationals, the Mets even, and one team I don't even know a lot about, probably has the best record in baseball, the St. Louis Cardinals. If you had to pick a team right now going to the World Series from there, would you go with your Dodgers?
No, I'd go with the Cardinals. Till the Dodgers prove they could beat them in the playoffs, I won't go with the Dodgers. Cardinals seem to have a little number on Clayton Kershaw in the playoffs, and that's key. You beat Kershaw and the Dodgers. You beat Kershaw at least one of those games. You have a good chance of beating the Dodgers in a short series. A team we didn't mention that always seems to be there are the San Francisco Giants. And they get in the playoffs. They've proven that they could show up when the lights are the brightest. And that's a team that nobody will talk about, but if they get in the playoffs, that's a team to watch for.
Yeah, we didn't mention them. They're pushing the Dodgers right now out west. And the Cubs, Dave, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they made a little playoff push. All those young players, everything seems to be coming together for them right now.
Yeah, they may be a year ahead of schedule. Joe Madden might argue otherwise. But it's going to be a tough road to hoe because they're in the same division with the Cardinals. If they're just focused on getting in as a wild card this year, Pirates have been the second best team, behind the Phillies maybe, since the All-Star break. But the Pirates have played very well. Cubs have played well. Their day's coming eventually, though. I mean, they do have a lot of talent on that team. They have the right management in place, general manager Theo Epstein. So look for better days for the Cubs ahead. But if they can get into the playoffs this year, all the experience is going to help them in the future.
American League will host the World Series, but I think the National League is probably going to win it. All right, Dave, thank you. We appreciate your time. FYI standard speaker scoreboard time. The Iron Pigs won on Tuesday. The Rail Riders, they took a loss in the International League. We mentioned it during Dave Day. The Cubbies have won 6 straight, and that's sports for tonight. But there's more FYI after our social report. It's Wednesday, and here's some delicious alliteration. It's signature steak night at Bottlenecks. All of their signature steaks are only $9.95 plus bottomless soup and salad for only $2.95.
Good evening, everyone, and here's tonight's social news first tonight. Happy 40th birthday to Janine and Sam Jr. Double the love from Mom, Dad, Mark, Alyssa, Mason, Lori, Bella, your entire family, friends, and everyone here at SSPTV. Also tonight, thank you to my parents Sam and Debbie Lassant for 40 years of life, and happiest of birthdays to my twin brother Sammy too. I would not want to celebrate my birthday with anyone else. Cheers to us in the next 40 years of twinhood. Love from Janine. Tonight's Talk of the Town report, auditions will be held Tuesday, August 11th for the MPB Community Players' 24th annual musical theater production, Meet Me in St. Louis, which will be held in October at Trinity Lutheran Church in Hazleton. Everyone is invited for this family-friendly production. Auditions will be held at 7 p.m. in the basement of Most Precious Blood Church. For more information, please call 570-401-6679. And finally, the Area Agency on Aging of Luzerne County would like to remind recipients of the 2015 Senior Farmers Market Nutrition Program vouchers that they have until November 30th to redeem them. These vouchers can only be used to purchase locally grown fruits and vegetables from participating stands. For info, call 570-822-1158, extension 3337. That's tonight's Talk of the Town. News 13 would like to send sincere condolences to the family and friends of these recently departed. Helen E. Reimer, formerly of Sugarloaf Township. Memorial is Friday at 10 a.m. in the Black Creek United Methodist Church. The Harmon Funeral Home is assisting with the arrangements. Irene A. Karomi of Drifton. Funeral is Friday at 1 p.m. in the McHugh Wilczek Funeral Home. Friends may call Friday from noon to 1 p.m. And Clara J. Kerwich, formerly of West Hazleton. Arrangements will be announced by the Harmon Funeral Home.
Still to come on FYI this week, we have information on upcoming beer festival and more on the classic car cruise-in downtown Hazleton this week. That's it for tonight. We'll see you tomorrow. Take it easy, everyone.